Hello, good morning, good afternoon. It's AJ Morrow here with Essentially AJ, and I've finally turned up. So I had my first little oopsie having done this. I thought I had set everything up and I thought I had pressed to go live, and I started chatting for, 9 minutes before I realized that I hadn't actually switched the thing on correctly. And whilst it was looking as if it was all good on my end, it wasn't. Anyway, sorry. This is social media videos for the afraid, getting it done naturally. I just want to have a little bit of a brief introduction here to explain that I'm doing this very informally. This is very conscious. I wanted to make this as comfortable an experience for me and as informal an experience for you. I set the room up in my comfy chair, moved things around a little bit. So welcome to my living room. I've created the lighting a little bit better than it was. And I'm all here with my notes, my water, my diffuser running to hopefully share some really good, valuable tips with you to help you get yourself online. That when I advertise this slightly in a few groups and with my friends and things like that, the things that I kind of started off saying were, are you afraid of social media video? Are you procrastinating? Are you in fear? Is fear holding you back? Is anxiety holding you back? Are you camera shy? Are you pretty paranoid? Have you got lots of silly negative self-talk that's holding you from, stopping you from doing the very thing that you want to do? Have you got lots of blocks? And even though you want to make social media, you just don't know where to start. And that list, and then some probably, was me. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. I was terrified. It was silly. I wanted to do this for my network marketing new business, and I had those blockers, and I was trying to figure a way out to make myself be comfortable enough to get online and do exactly what I'm doing just now. It'd be perfect, but it'll be getting done. So I had said, join me so that I can share my journey to this point, and I can tell you a little bit about how I got myself to show up and some of the top tips and tricks that I've learned along the way with my research into preparing for this and the steps that I took to get here today. And hopefully this will be of value to lots of you. I know there are people out there who want to do social media videos that are too scared, or that are just having so many doubts about themselves and what they bring to the table. But we all have a gift. We just have to find it, and then we have to have the confidence to share it in the belief that other people will be interested too. So I put 3 bullet points in my advert about what I was going to talk about. So I'll go through them briefly. I said I wanted to talk about how I actually got myself to show up here and do this webinar despite fear and anxiety, and tune in to see if I manage. Well, I managed that one. So one part down, I'll talk about how I got myself to show up. I'll then talk about learning a little bit about the different forms of being afraid that hold us back from taking action and putting ourselves out there. And finally, I'll talk about in more depth, because this is really why you've showed up. The content for this is really the important thing. It's the tips and tricks to help you naturally support yourself to do exactly this, to show up on social media and do video. Challenges associated with being afraid to do that. So number one is it was all about how I got myself to show up. And this is really just a kind of brief synopsis, because the content really is this number 3 part. I committed to doing it. I made it public. I held myself accountable for it, and I showed up and did it. I didn't particularly feel like jumping on social media this morning. That wasn't really what I woke up this morning and thought, yeah, I'm going to do. I'm hoping it'll come to that down the line. I'm hoping I'll get so comfortable that it'll be, I have an idea and I just press broadcast live and I share something I've learned or something of value for people, so that people start watching me and they start finding things of interest. I got my oils on, I held myself accountable, and I took baby steps towards doing this. I didn't just jump on this straight away. There was other things that happened in the meantime. And I'm going to go through all of my top tips and tricks later on, which is more relevant. So point number 2 was about the being afraid. Why I use the word afraid is fear and anxiety. It's not just about, and it's not just about anxiety holding you. It's a combination of all of everything that holds you back. You're afraid, but it's procrastination that people focus on usually. And procrastination really is fear. You're delaying and postponing doing something because you've got fear. And you've got fear because you're scared of criticism. You're scared of being vulnerable. You're scared of being putting yourself out there. What if I make a mistake? What if people comment or are critical about the way I look or the way I sound or the clothes I'm wearing? What if I say something stupid? What if what I'm bringing to the table isn't of value? And we have all this kind of negative self-talk that undermines our confidence, that undermines our ability to press broadcast or press live stream or whatever button it is. Not know how to do these things. I obviously had a 9-minute whoopsie there where I thought I'd set everything up right. I was talking to the camera for 9 minutes because I thought it was all set and it was going. But you live and learn. This is the first time I've done a webinar. So it's the first time I've gone through the process, and being comfortable with the process is part of the process to getting comfortable doing these things. I talked about all of these different fears and anxiety. Gosh, anxiety for a lot of people, it's paralyzing. And let's talk about being camera shy for a minute, shall we? I don't even have a picture of myself on my Facebook profile. I've got 5 or 6 photos of me in the last 5 years until a few days ago when I started taking this very seriously and putting my photo out there. The process working up to getting online and going forward has really changed my attitude towards all of it. Even in a few days, having my photo out there has changed how I feel about having my photo out there. And hopefully that'll get to the point where I don't mind my photo being taken. But all of this is a process, and I'm not because I think I'm going to do the best presentation on all of this, but I think I'm going to be the most empathetic. I've been there. I've done that. This is me. I am putting myself out there. These are all my issues. You might not have all of these issues. You might have some of them or one of them or none of them. You might have some other ones that I haven't talked on, but there's going to be some valuable content in all of this verbal diarrhea, as I would call it. On to the most relevant part, which is my point 3 was all about the amazing tips and tricks for naturally supporting yourself to kind of do this. So let's talk about oils first of all, because I'm an oil addict. So, and this isn't a sales pitch for the oils. That's not why I'm here today, but I am going to share with you the ones that I've used. So in my diffuser today, I've got little rosemary, which is to do with knowledge and mental clarity. I've got lavender for communication, and I've got spearmint, which is to do with confident speech. That's buzzing away in my little diffuser in the background. I always wear Hope. Hope is my daily perfume, keeps me nice and hopeful. Elevation, it's on my diffuser necklace here. I wear these 2 every day. They're my perfume. Elevation for joy, because obviously who doesn't want to be joyful and hopeful every day? And then these 2 are kind of the ones for the anxiety and the fear more than anything else. The balance, the grounding one, and peace, that's, you know, obviously to help you feel peaceful and reassured. So I've got them on the go, and they will be helping me in that sense. Those things, it has been a process for me. I have had a traumatic brain injury that I'm undergoing some treatment for, in that's neuroplasticity treatment. I've had some neuro-linguistic programming from Jane Nash. I've used some hypnosis by the great Paul McKenna. And I've gone on a couple of courses online in the essential oil world, mainly through Jessie Reimers, who's an absolute doll. Like, she's changed my world. I've never met her, but shout out to Jessie. Thank you so much. I started off with her course that she did with Mish, and had some interesting discoveries about my why and what I was doing and how to regulate my business. And if you're in the essential oil world, this is a course you do want to kind of give a try. I'm not an affiliate. I'm going to be promoting people here. There's no kickback for me. It's just these things have worked for me. They might work for you. Give them a try. Then I went on and I did the Jessie Rhymes one that she did with Brad Yates. Now, Brad Yates is awesome. He is into emotional freedom technique. It's also known as tapping. He has an awesome YouTube channel, as does Jessie, actually. Check them both out on YouTube. Lots of free content on there. And tapping uses acupuncture points in the way that you bump the acupuncture points while you're saying certain things. And it's a psychology method of releasing negative self-talk and all of the other hang-ups that you need to get rid of. And then Jessie Rhymes' Kate Abenak course recently that's all about social media, and it was kind of up-leveling things to a whole new level, like opened me up to lots of different technology that I didn't realize, taught me how to do a landing page and create a webinar, which is why you're even on here, because I wouldn't have known where to get started. And that's really what I want to be saying in part of this piece is, if you don't know, find somebody who does and learn from them. There's loads of people out there that know. Some people will give you some stuff for free. Some stuff is well worth paying the money for, and I've mentioned were so well worth having spent the money on. I highly, highly recommend them. So check them out and give them a try. And then baby steps. I took lots of baby steps. I did all this personal development. I broke everything down. So going from having no pictures up on my wall, I now have a video that streams me on my Facebook page, essentially, AJ. I started doing a little bit of private videos. I went onto Zoom, I recorded a little chat of me. I recorded a little bit more. I did an introduction. I shared it in a little private secret group. I got a bit of feedback. I tried it again. I shared it a little bit more publicly, and it went on from there until yesterday. I did a live stream yesterday, straight onto my Facebook page, and then jumped on here today live, and we've got viewer on here just now, maybe more. I'm not looking. I don't want to freak myself out. And there'll be more people watching down the line, presumably. So break it down. It doesn't have to be the big elephant in the room, so to speak. Just make baby steps between here and Rome. And there are lots of routes to Rome. Find what works for you. And make the space that you're going to do it in set appropriately. Make it comfortable. There would be no point in me doing my face and my makeup, doing my hair all fancy, putting on a special normally wear, because I would be less comfortable than I am, and it wouldn't be essentially me. No, there's no point. You're gonna feel uncomfortable. If you're not comfortable doing video, you need to make yourself comfortable first, or you won't show up. And if you do show up, you'll probably not be able to continue doing it until you kind of find your feet. So I'm here saying, like, just like, get it done. It doesn't have to be entirely perfect, as long as you're sharing. Not showing up to see me, they wouldn't be showing up to see you either. I'm sorry, I hate to break it to you. You're showing up to see, like, to learn the content. I watch other YouTubers. It's not because I necessarily want to know about them, although some of them you do get involved with their story. But most of the time you're turning up because you want to find out what they're talking about. If their video is on a topic that has got your interest enough that you've clicked that button, you want their knowledge, you want their experience, you want what is relevant. So bear that in mind when you're thinking about the content, and bear that in mind when you're being all worried about how you're presenting or how you're looking. It isn't about you, or in this case, it's not about me. Hope that makes sense. Hope I'm being clear. Make sure there's no distractions. I kicked my husband out of the house today. He's not home for very long, very often, but I told him I couldn't have him clattering about the place. And I made sure that there, wasn't the radio on. Nobody had the washing machine or dryer or anything like that happened. And so I've set the place up, and I thought I'd set up the techie side of things so that I knew what I was doing, but I clearly had an oopsie with that. But next time I will know more proficiently what I have to do, and each time after this is going to be easier and easier. So you're experiencing my first webinar at me at least professional, and hopefully each time from now on things will get smoother, things will get clearer, and I'll find my feet more with this. I'm referring back to my notes. Like, I really don't have a problem with that. I've watched plenty of YouTube videos with people doing that. I prefer somebody to look at their notes and make sure that they cover all the content that they want to cover in the video, rather than they get completely off point, or they don't cover each of their targets that they wanted to discuss within that video. And I practiced all over the place, which I think I touched on earlier on, and I built up my confidence, seeing myself. I'm not one to stand in front of the mirror. I'm not one to stand in front of the video or the camera. So it was a weird thing to look yourself in the eye, which you kind of need to do when you're videoing in order for the viewer, the connection, and feel like you're talking to them rather than you're staring straight at your notes and not quite clearly you're not looking at them. If I look at you and I say that, it makes a difference. So be aware of your body language in that sense, where your gaze is at. Ideally be kind of looking at the camera as much as possible, and realize that you can use the tapping and the hypnosis if necessary, and the neuro-linguistic programming and other techniques, whatever you can do to boost your confidence, your self-esteem, and find your voice, and talk about what you've got an interest in. Like, I could have come on here and done a sales pitch for essential oils because I'm passionate about that. But I figured that there was going to be quite a lot of other people doing that right now, because that would have been the kind of most obvious topic for doTERRA people starting out doing a webinar. But it wasn't what I needed to do. It will be what I'll do down the line at some point, no doubt. And I've got slideshows all ready to kind of go on that one. And I could have set up slideshows and hidden behind a slideshow, but I want you to connect because I want there to be some engagement. And I didn't feel like that was going to be achieved by me hiding behind a slideshow. But if that's the step that you need to take to get you in front of the camera eventually, then jump on, do a video with slides, hide behind the slides the whole time. And then maybe the next time, do it with slides and hide only some of the time, and jump back and forward between showing the slides and showing yourself on camera. You can double tag it so that you've got the slides and you up on the screen at the same time, and work up to the point where you can sit and be on camera the whole time with notes. And then maybe there's a topic that you don't need any notes for, and you can just free stream, where you just share whatever comes to mind, and it's more of a vlog rather than a lesson. But I wanted to try and keep this like in between those scenarios. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is really my pet aha thing that's kind of come up at the moment, it's progress, not perfection. It's imperfect action is often good enough, and it's certainly a lot better than not getting it done. So the fear is worse than the reality. Believe me. I've only been on here for 20 minutes. It's I've condensed a short period of time. I didn't want to make it a long drawn out chat. I wasn't too sure how long it was going to take me to rattle through everything. I'm pretty sure I've covered all of my notes. I've said what I wanted to say. I think. I hope I've brought value to you. Just get out there, support yourself naturally, and get it done. Get some constructive feedback, things, improve your technique, improve the quality of the setting if you need to, and just share your gift, share your message. And just remember, you have enough, you do enough, but more importantly, you are enough. It is enough. You are enough. Show up, get it done, and I hope this has helped you. And if I could ask you for, one little thing, it would be if you could please show me some love and encouragement on my Facebook page, Essentially AJ, or on my Instagram, essentially_AJ. That would be absolutely awesome. And I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much. See you the next time.